There is a conspiracy theory that says the internet died years ago. Not crashed, not disappeared, died. And what we use now is basically a haunted shopping mall with Wi-Fi. The theory is called the dead internet theory. It says most of the people you meet online are not people. Most posts are automated. Most comments are fake. Most arguments are bots yelling at other bots while humans wander through the smoke wondering why everyone suddenly talks like a press release with anxiety. That sounds ridiculous. At least it used to. Then you open a comment section. You see the same joke copied 40 times. You see a product review that says, "This item changed my life," about a phone charger. You see a smiling profile picture praising something nobody has tried yet. You see a video with a voice that sounds almost human, a face that looks almost real, and a script that feels like it was assembled from leftover internet soup. And for 1 second, the theory stops sounding like a conspiracy. It starts sounding like someone exaggerated a real problem. So here is the uncomfortable question. What if the internet is not dead? What if it is worse? What if it is alive? But a lot of what is alive online is not human. The old internet felt messy in a human way. People argued badly. They made ugly websites. They posted weird photos with no strategy. Someone would write a 900-word forum reply about fixing a printer, and it would somehow include a story about their divorce. That was annoying, but it was alive. Now the internet often feels smooth in a suspicious way. Every platform wants content. Every brand wants attention. Every creator is told to post more. Every algorithm is hungry. And when a system becomes hungry enough, it does not ask whether the food has a soul. It asks whether the food keeps people scrolling. Bots can help with that. Spam can help with that. AI content can definitely help with that. A human has to sleep. A bot can post at 3:17 in the morning about a miracle blender, a political scandal, and a motivational quote that sounds like it was written by a fridge magnet trying to get venture funding. This is the first thing that makes the dead internet theory feel tempting. Online activity does not always feel proportional to human interest anymore. A topic can appear everywhere at once. A phrase can spread before anyone knows where it came from. A comment section can fill with confident opinions from accounts that have no history, no face, no weird little human inconsistencies. It is like walking into a restaurant where every table is laughing at the same joke at the exact same volume while nobody is eating. Maybe it is popular. Maybe it is coordinated. Maybe it is bots. Maybe it is just the algorithm showing you the same thing until your brain mistakes repetition for reality. That last one matters, because the internet does not need to be mostly fake to feel fake. It only needs the fake parts to be loud, cheap, fast, and perfectly placed. The second reason is money. The internet rewards attention, and attention is easier to fake than almost anything else. Views can be inflated, likes can be purchased, reviews can be manufactured, comments can be generated, even outrage can be staged. If a platform rewards a number, someone will try to fake that number. This is not a mystical prophecy. This is just what happens when humans invent a scoreboard and then pretend nobody will cheat. The weird part is that fake attention can become real attention. A post looks popular, so people click it. People click it, so the platform shows it more. The platform shows it more, so journalists mention it. Journalists mention it, so normal people start discussing it. And suddenly a thing that began as smoke has become weather. Not because it was true, because it looked alive long enough for real people to join in. Then came generative AI, and the theory got a software update. Before AI, making endless fake content still took work. You needed writers, templates, stolen photos, bad translations, or a very patient person with 17 burner accounts and a concerning amount of free time. Now a machine can make posts, images, comments, product descriptions, fake advice, fake biographies, fake news summaries, and fake emotional confessions at industrial speed. Some of it is useful. Some of it is funny. Some of it is harmless filler. But some of it has the texture of a room where everyone is talking and nobody is thinking. This is why people complain about AI slop. It is not always evil. It is just everywhere. Recipe pages that repeat themselves. Search results that answer the question without understanding the question. Videos that explain a mystery by reading the first 5 paragraphs of the internet back to the internet. The web becomes a mirror pointed at a mirror. Eventually, you are not sure whether you are reading a human thought, a machine summary of human thoughts, or a machine summary of machine summaries of human thoughts. At that point, dead internet becomes a little too poetic for comfort. But the strongest version of the dead internet theory goes further. It says the internet is not just full of bots. It says the internet is being managed, not by one cartoon villain in a swivel chair. Real life is usually less stylish, but by incentives. Platforms want growth. Advertisers want conversions. Political groups want influence. Scammers want money. Creators want reach. AI companies want training data. Everyone is feeding the machine, and everyone is also trying to steer it. The result can feel like a place where attention is no longer discovered. It is engineered. You do not simply find what people are talking about. You find what a dozen systems decided should look like what people are talking about. That is not the same as a secret control room. But honestly, it may be creepier, because nobody has to be fully in charge for the system to start behaving like it has a personality. Now, the responsible answer is simple. The internet is not literally dead. Real people are still here. You are probably real. I am legally required to assume that. Your friends are real. Artists are real. Small forums are real. Weirdly specific hobby communities are real. Somewhere right now, a real person is explaining the correct way to store fountain pen ink. And they are doing it with the intensity of a medieval scholar protecting a sacred flame. That is the internet at its best. Human obsession, freely shared. The problem is not that humans vanished. The problem is that human signals are now mixed with so much automated noise that the average person has to spend more energy asking, is this real? Was this review written by a customer? Was this image made by a person? Is this anger organic? Is this trend actually a trend? Is this account a neighbor, a bot, a marketer, a troll farm, or a guy named Kevin who just has very unusual opinions about kitchen appliances? This changes how the internet feels. When trust drops, everything becomes a little haunted. A normal compliment can look fake. A real photo can look generated. A real expert can sound like a bot because bots learn to imitate expert language. A real person can be ignored because their account looks too new. And a fake account can be believed because it says exactly what a group wants to hear. This is the strange future we are entering. Not a world where the internet is empty. A world where authenticity becomes expensive. Proof becomes part of the performance. The most valuable thing online may not be information. It may be evidence that a human was actually there. So maybe the dead internet theory is wrong as a literal claim. The internet did not die in some secret year. There was no midnight where all the humans logged off and the bots quietly took the chairs. But as a feeling, it captures something real. The feeling that the web is filling with synthetic voices. The feeling that popularity can be manufactured. The feeling that attention can be farmed, packaged, and sold back to us as culture. The feeling that you can be surrounded by millions of accounts and still wonder where everybody went. That is not just paranoia. It is a response to a system where fake signals are cheaper than honest ones. And maybe the scariest part is not that bots are becoming more human. It is that humans are being trained to behave more like bots. Post on schedule. Use the hook. Optimize the caption. Repeat the trend. Say the phrase that performs. Smile at the exact second the algorithm expects a smile. After a while, the difference between human-made content and machine-made content starts to blur in both directions. The machine learns from us. Then we learn from the machine. Then the machine learns from the version of us that learned from the machine. That is not a dead internet. That is a very strange loop. So what do we do with that? Maybe we start treating the internet less like a mirror of humanity and more like a weather system. Some parts are natural. Some parts are polluted. Some storms are real. Some are seeded. And some are just the algorithm blowing the same plastic bag past your window until you think the whole sky is made of plastic bags. That does not mean you have to quit the internet and live in a cabin. Although if the cabin has snacks and decent plumbing, I understand the appeal. It means you slow down around anything that seems too perfectly viral. You look for original sources. You notice accounts that only exist to push one emotion. You ask whether a trend has real people behind it or just a lot of noise wearing human masks. And you protect the small human internet when you find it. The weird forum, the honest comment, the creator who sounds like a person, the friend who sends you a terrible meme with no strategy at all. That might be the new luxury. Unoptimized humanity. Maybe the internet is not dead. Maybe it is crowded. Crowded with humans. Crowded with machines. Crowded with ads pretending to be advice. Outrage pretending to be consensus. And content pretending to be culture. But if you can still find a real person saying something weird, specific, generous, or beautifully unnecessary, then the internet is not gone. It is just buried. And the question is no longer, is the internet dead? The better question is, how much of it is still human? If this made you suspicious of your comment section, welcome to the club. Subscribe to Odd Singal Lab for strange questions with slightly less panic than the internet usually provides. And tell me in the comments, what is the most fake feeling thing you have seen online that might actually have been real?